Merry Christmas, everyone! And I thought I would end the year with a not great game. I guess I didn't plan that out too well. Huh. Well, I hope you guys enjoy my review. Not really a review, more of my look into madness of me playing this game of Sonic Boom.
Sega.
Hey, on a side note, does that ever sound like someone's belching it? Sega. Sonic Boom! Snap Judgment Review. It's been a while since I've done one of these Snap Judgment reviews. Usually I only do them when the game is so bad I don't need to play it for more than 10 minutes to know it's crap. But this title is different. It's getting a Snap Judgment review for a different reason. I think this game is actively trying to anger me at every step, whether it be glitching me to the point I had to reset, confusing me with objectives, or phasing me through doors. Trust me, we're going to get to all of those. So this really isn't going to be a straightforward review. It's going to be more my journey of when I decided to just say F this game. Just from minute one, I was confused playing this title. But mainly it's because I wasn't understanding the world that I was in. It had roads that looked like they were designed by a crazy person. Who builds a working road that has loop-de-loops? Plus it looked like the roads were just put in random locations, just so people had reasons to go there. There is no logical reasons for this road to be in the middle of a forest, other than having Sonic and his friends run on them. It was just nuts! Anyway, Sonic and his friends are running after Dr. Eggman, and he sends a bunch of his robots to kill them. Sonic and his friends escape to a temple, which I'm calling the Training Temple of Doom. You learn how to control your characters. I say characters because you control 4 of them. You use the D-pad to change between them, but I'm already getting ahead of myself. You learn what your characters could do and what their abilities are in a very boring and unskippable training sequence. Once you get to the center, you find that there's a statue of a lizard thingy, and Sonic accidentally releases him. The bad guy escapes and the crew goes after him. At this point I should say that I actually missed the jump and fell to the bottom of the pit. But instead of dying, I could just move around the darkness. Eventually I kept jumping up until I made it to the rail grinding section. But then it put me in an infinite loop. No matter how many times I did it, whenever it looked like I was getting off, it would reset me back to the beginning of the rail grinding section again. Now normally I would show you the footage for this, but it just didn't work. I don't know, maybe Sonic's glitching my computer or something. Oh, but okay, that's probably not true. It's probably my really old 7-year-old laptop just for some reason crashing during this, which really sucked because it was actually quite interesting. It was exactly what I said. The blackness and then me jumping, and then me grinding on a rail to the thing. So picture it in your mind. It's just as awesome to think in your mind as it was on the screen. So back to the review. So I had to reset my game and play that whole boring training sequence again. I was already ready to throw this game out the window, but I kept going. I was just more careful on my jump next time, and I finished the rail grinding section, and I eventually came upon the main hub. Main hubs are the one thing that game designers need to get right, as this is the place that we're going to go to a lot. If a level design sucks, at least we can beat it and move on. The hub is something you're going to want to make very easy to understand where to go and what to do. This hub was laid out very badly. I would constantly get lost, and finding where you needed to go was also just as confusing. Eventually it did start giving me yellow arrows which would give me vague directions. Overall the hub and the worlds I don't think flowed together very well. Maybe all this craziness is explained later, but as a casual player, it was all very jarring. Why am I in a desert town when 10 seconds ago I was in a forest? But like I said, the title is very glitchy. To prove this, the littlest Wiiviewer actually showed me there's an infinite jump glitch, which he used to bypass gates and skip to the next part of the game. In fact, he told me if he really wanted to, he could skip to the end of the game. It left me so dumbfounded. Who tested this game? But however, I had no interest in glitching through the game. As I played the game normally, I found the level designs very boring. They were just kind of like average and not really that creative. I could see some potential in it. What you had to do was kind of boring and repetitive. They gave me a key to a door, I think. They were never clear on this. They told me to find some ancient area and sent me on my way. Great, more vague game elements. So I found a red and yellow glowing door, thinking that was right. So I tried the red one and it wouldn't open. I was really determined to get through this yellow door. I was thinking, this has to be the door. It just must not be working for some reason. So I kept jumping on the button when all of a sudden, I phased through it. I thought maybe for some reason this is the right way to do it. And I kept going through the level and I found out that I skipped an entire section of the game. I found this out because when I went to the save file, I went from 8% done to 15% done. So I went to do the goal of that area, which was find the parts for the boat. But I could never find the final part that he wanted, even though I scoured the area area like crazy. That's when I backtracked and realized that I was going out of order. When I went back to the door that I phased through, it was wide open. However, when I saved and went back, it was closed again. So just for fun, I tried to phase my way through it again. And after a little maneuvering, I did it. Again, and then again, and then again. I figured out if you hang off the button and flip over to the door, you could go right through it. I can only get this to work on the yellow door, but maybe with a little more practice I could get it on the red door too. I don't know. I just don't care that much. This really wasn't that useful of a glitch, as the infinite jump trick was way easier and does the same thing. So at this point I was confused beyond anything because I was way ahead of the game. I had no idea where to go, so I basically just said You could play with more than one person, but I couldn't get anyone to play with me for more than 2 minutes. They were just as bored as me. The first player plays on the gamepad and the other person plays on the screen, so that was nice. To keep the other person's attention who was helping me play this game, we tried out the 3 multiplayer games that were available. A battling enemies mode, a collect the rings while the camera moves mode, and a ball the goal mode. And they all sucked. Either the camera was terrible or the gameplay itself was lifeless. Sonic Boom was buggy and confusing. It looked nice, but I do think Sonic Lost World looked better. And you know what? That was actually a good game. Like I said, I could see some potential in it. Overall, it just wasn't as fun, as the levels felt more like a puzzle game and less of a Sonic speed romp. So I would definitely skip this game. So Sonic Boom, you have now broken me. Congratulations, for the very last game of the year, you have broken my will to play a Wii U game. Thank you very much for that. So I say goodbye to you. I thank you guys for watching that review, and that disc just broke up into many little pieces. So why don't you check out my previous review of Color Zen. Or you can go back and look at another Christmassy game, which actually had way too many gameplay testers, which was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like always, thank you guys for watching, and have a Merry Christmas, and please subscribe.